What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking the transmission out of the Hippo and replacing it with the Powerglide, because in the last videos you should have seen, I told you guys that I sold it to the guy that's doing the other G35 that I'm building for him. So my goal is to take the trans out of the car. I need to take the 400 out, put the Powerglide in it. I need to make a trans mount, and I need to pull these old fuel lines that I still have in here from when the tank was in the back, and yeah, just completely take them out. For everybody that don't believe me that I was on stock G35 axles, there you go, completely stock G35, well, not G35, I'm sorry, 370Z axles. There you go, 370Z axles, stock G35 diff. I just have solid bushings in it, and that's about it. Don't know how much longer this IRS setup is gonna stay in here, but like I don't know if I told you guys before, but I am planning, well, I told you before, I am planning on going to a 4-link setup or a ladder bar setup, whichever one I can source the parts for cheaper. And I have found a 9-inch housing, well, a full complete 9-inch. I'm getting out of Brad's what's that thing called, his 240 that he has, because he's putting a Fab 9 9-inch in his own. So just have to come up with a plan on how I'm gonna, I want to do a triangulated 4-link because I've seen it done on this car before and it looks fairly simple and cheap. So I should be able to do it on this car. Need to find some longer 17s for this stuff. Oh yes, and I finally did the, if you've seen a couple videos ago, I did a spring bucket delete, and the car's on full coilovers now. So more than likely when I do the 4-link setup, it's going to be on an inboard shock setup, so I'll get rid of these ugly ass brackets that I made, and I'll be able to, you know, do my shock setting. It'll be all set up here from the rear and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start taking this stuff apart. Get the all right, yeah, it's not hooked up, that's not hooked up. Cool. Let's go ahead and get the trans out and the fuel lines out and get the new trans in. I do have to run to Lowe's and get some material to make the bracket, but we'll see how much time we have, because I do have a lot of things to do. Stumpy has to pull this motor apart, the black G35, and we have a single cam that we need to change the turbo manifold on and put a new wastegate on it, and have to tune that also. So let's get this going. Yeah. All off camera. I don't think anybody else.
25 seconds in the video and we're still pumping this thing up.
Yep. Somebody in the comment section can be like, why don't you get one of those hydraulic ones? Buy me one.
I heard we're getting another Trump check, so if y'all want to donate another one of these.
If each one of my subscribers donates $1 to my channel, we can do so much more.
Oh man, that's just a joke. We're good. Look at that. It's like butter, baby.
Like butter.
I'm so short so I can put my head in the tunnel.
Everybody's like, oh, Phil, why you only put 4 bolts in your transmission? You ever had to change the trans between rounds before? Not fun.
Can't say I have it in my cars.
Remember all those times you complained about pulling apart those stock Hondas?
Who, me?
Yeah. Imagine having a race car.
What stock Honda?
They're like the completely stock Hondas.
Oh, brother, them bolts?
Yeah. All those Hondas with those stock bolts in there, you're like, man, why is all the bolts in here? Because the factory put all the bolts in there.
Like the one one of the intake manifold everybody hates getting.
Yeah. Oh man, that's not good.
Oh boy, you gotta pull down. Oh. No, it's like out but in. That's not good at all. You have to rethread that one.
No, we just won't use that one.
Oh, okay. And you're not going fast enough for it anyway.
No,
So
I'm not. I'm only gonna go like I'm gonna go slower. Now, I said I'm only gonna go slower now. My car is like 500 pounds lighter. It's on alcohol and a Powerglide, and it has suspension.
probably like a 6.1.
Yeah. Nah, it'll go slower than that. Who knows? It might grenade on the first hit. The amount of metal that I put in the motor.
Yeet. Yeet. You got enough metal in the motor to make another motor.
Another stop bottom end is $600 away.
Oh, no, that's a whole long block, bud, with a harness.
Oh man, see? Told you.
Trans are that?
No, I put all the bolts in it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh man. Check this out. It got dowel pins?
Yeah, it's got dowel pins.
It's got dowel pins?
Yeah, it's got dowel pins.
Us Honda people, we don't use dowel pins. How you feel about that?
I use dowel pins in my Hondas.
Is that one tight?
It's tight like a tiger.
What happened? We got separation. No, this is actually good news, man. Because you're about to go faster now.
This trans's broken. So gotta get it fixed.
Why is it broken?
Too much power.
More power, baby.
More power, baby. No, I don't know how to drive an auto.
Don't know how to drive an auto. Was you power shifting your auto trans?
Yeah.
Phil, it's not a Civic. Can't do that. What? Well, she's out. That was your job for the day. I guess go back in there and stop sweating.
Yeah. We still gotta take this off, put the glide on here, and then
Put the glide in today?
And then we gotta go get material to make a mount.
Alright.
I gotta figure out how to make a mount.
And then, leaky boys.
Oh, Chinese boys, bro. Everything on here. Chinese as hell, except for the Enderly.
Where's the name of this thing at?
What, that?
Yeah, what's the...
That's a file.
Excuse me?
That's a file. Bro, you wanna know what? This sensor from Fuel Tech right here costs more than both these gates put together.
That's an issue. Almost got it back in there?
Yeah. I am gonna put a mid plate in here.
Mid plate?
Yeah, it's like 40 bucks, and it comes with the pads and shit. So I try to keep the bell housing from cracking. So a lot of y'all don't know, but it's a stock case Powerglide. Well, stop bell housing, and you know stop bell houses are known to crack. So trying to prolong it from cracking. If I just saw somebody told me I can prolong it from cracking if I put a mid plate in here along with the front plate, and I put a bushing on the tail shaft housing, and well, a rubber bushing on the tail shaft housing, and it should prevent the or prolong it from cracking, I should say. So I'm gonna try it out. I mean, it won't really take me long to put a mid plate in here. Well, yeah, like I was saying, GoPro started doing some weird stuff with the screen, so we thought it was corrupting the video, but I'm planning on putting a mid plate in here. Somebody told me that since I have a stop bell housing, it'll probably be best to put mid plate in here. And a bushing, like one of those energy suspension bushings in the back. And it should help prolong the bell housing from cracking. Now when I do the rear end, I am gonna put a the car probably more than likely be torn down, and I'm not sure if I will stay stop bottom end at that point. I'll probably just do a piston and rod motor, just as some cheap Summit piston and rod, see how far I can get with that on a stock sleeve block. And I'll probably find some CNC, or I'll just hand port some 706s or 863s or something, just to see how much more farther I could go with the car on baby steps. So, but anyway, when I do all of that, I'm more than likely just going to change this bell housing to an aftermarket case bell housing, which will only probably cost me a couple $100. So, the trans is pretty much bolted in now. I'm going to take the trans jack out and then put a third hand on the trans and get the tail shaft to be somewhat centered with the drive shaft, because it does have to go up some. And once I do that, I will pretty much measure what I would need to make the trans mount. I should have a bushing here, and I will make it so that when I put the mid plate in there, that I'll be able to slide the trans back and forth at least a ½ inch or something like that. So let me go ahead and try to find this bushing. Had one, I don't know where it is now. If I gotta go to Advance to get one, I'll get one when I'm out there. All right guys, so it is Sunday now. I went and picked up the energy suspension mount from what's that place called? Advance. And I already had some tube material in the trunk of the G that I forgot that I had bought already, so I could remake the old mount that was already on the car. So my idea is to get it to line up with either this hole or this hole, and have the mount rest on this. I may do it further back, and then I may do the mount back here, because if you look at it from this, like this is parallel to this hole right here. So if I do it here and then put a piece of flat stock on top of the angle iron, and make a slot in the hole where the mount goes, so that when I do put the mid plate on there, I could slide it back. That would probably be the best idea to do so. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this, see what I can come up with, and then tell you guys along. All right guys, so I came up with an idea. Might be a little bit crazy, but it should work. All right, so I have these washers here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them between the bell housing and the transmission to simulate how thick the mid plate would be when I put it in. That way I can get an exact measurement of where the mid plate will be whenever it's in the car, and where the mount would land when it's in the car, because I'm trying to do it in a way where the mount is somewhat movable, and it has room to, you know, slide back and forth. But I'm working with like a limited amount of space between the bolt holes that are here and where the mount is, because it's kind of like on the whichever way it ends up, the motor mount should end up right here in dead center of these two holes right here, because I believe this one right here is stripped out anyway, so I really don't want to use that one. So I'm gonna try to get the motor mount to and it does have somewhat of a sliding, you know, back and forth, because the mount still is loose, so it can be adjusted. So when I put the motor mount, when I put the washers in between the trans and the motor, it should space it out to where it will be when the mid plate is on it. Damn, this thing looks way better than the first version. But I still have not, it is welded all the way around, super sturdy. I did gusset this thing right here so that this thing doesn't really flex. It's a lot. Also, I didn't drill the hole yet because I believe that these spacers might be too much for a mid plate. So what I'm gonna do is just wait till I get the mid plate to drill the hole for the bolt. I was just gonna make it slide back and forth, but I know that it's far back enough now to where that even if the mid plate is thinner, which it should be, this thing can slide forward and it'll be in a good position. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I guess the next video, it'll probably be me pulling the, well, it'll be me weighing the car and then pulling the motor out and getting the holes in the firewall patched up. And after that, it'll more than likely be me taking the car to my friend Harry's shop so that he can help me finish the front end so we can mount the fuel cell, run the fuel system, and then well, actually no, I won't take the motor out until we run the fuel system and mount the cell, because it'll it will be, you know, counterproductive for me to do that. So I don't know what else I can do in the spare time, in the meantime, while I oh, I guess I can finish securing the fuel pump to the front plate, and I can also mount the seats. I need to get a dash bar in here and do the steering column so that I can mount the seats and get my correct seating position. And then because from the seating position, then we can do the roll bar for the cage. And pretty much that'll be about it. After all of that's done, it'll pretty much be downhill from there. It'll just be me, like I said, patching the firewall and painting the engine bay and rewiring the car, and then should be able to start it up from there. I have two drive shafts for the car. I measured one is 59, well, the drive shaft now is 59 inches from the seal of the Powerglide to the flat side of the diff, and I believe my manual drive shaft was 10 inches longer than that. It was like 60, no, actually no, I'm lying. It might be the same size. So I'm gonna just put that up in there, see if the dimension is the same, and if it is, then I'll get new yoke for it, not yoke, but new U-joints for them. And I do need to get a Powerglide yoke. So once I get the Powerglide yoke, then I can get the drive shaft made. That'll be one thing knocked off. I want to put the trans cooler in the front, but I'm not sure where in the front I can put it. I can mount it flat here. I can mount it flat here against this, maybe underneath the fuel cell, wherever. I guess once we figure out where the fuel cell is going to be, I'll figure out where I'm going to mount the trans cooler, because I do want to patch, well, not patch, but I want to get the covers back for these holes for the gas where the stock tank used to be. And I don't want to run the trans cooler back here, because I had it back here before when the car was when it had the 400 in it, before I took the tank out. And my fear was always breaking an axle and the axle going through the trans cooler line. So it'll be a less of a mess for me, and I kind of want to make these lines shorter too. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. As always, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next upload.